In Zimbabwe, the Gukurahundi massacre of the 1980s remain one of the most painful chapters in the post-independence African history. Thousands of many Ndebele civilians were killed during brutal state crackdown in Matabeleland. This tragedy reminds us that ethnic chauvinism and political intolerance can become deadly when power is not guided by democratic accountability and Pan-African humanism.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Thulani Nkala. I hope most of you have heard or seen a speech by Julius Malema, the president of the EFF. Recently, for the very first time, he spoke about the genocide in Zimbabwe. The genocide called Gukurahundi, which was perpetrated by the government of Robert Mugabe and Emmerson Mnangagwa. That was from almost immediately after independence up to 1987. That is the physical part of the genocide. But the psychological, the cultural, and the economic genocide is still ongoing right now. This genocide was perpetrated by Robert Mugabe, as I have said, against the Ndebele people, against the people of Matabeleland, or those who were perceived to be ZAPU supporters. ZAPU was a political party which was led by Dr. Joshua Nkomo. During the liberation struggle, we had two liberation movements. Those are the most important ones, should I say. We had ZAPU, its armed wing was ZIPRA. Then there was ZANU, its armed wing was ZANLA. These were the two major liberation movements. In Zimbabwe, things are taken mostly on tribal basis. ZANU and ZANLA were viewed or seen as Shona organizations. ZAPU and ZIPRA were seen as Ndebele organizations. However, when you look at these organizations closely, particularly ZAPU, ZAPU's leaders were predominantly coming from the Shona tribe, even though it was led by Dr. Joshua Nkomo, who came from the Ndebele nation. The barbarity, the brutality of the methods which were used against the civilians by the 5th Brigade or the Gukurahundi army against the innocent people, women and children, and the men who were not armed, were just unbelievable. This kind of genocide has never happened in the Southern Africa after independence of any African nation. It has never happened. This genocide, the South African government is not talking about it. Very few South African organizations are talking about this genocide either. It's amazing that Mr. Malema has spoken about this genocide for the very first time. One would have thought that maybe he did not know about the genocide. But the way he spoke about it, it shows that he knew but did not really care about those who were killed. His alliance with the ZANU-PF, the murdering party, it shows that he did not care. One wonders whether he has had a change of heart or not. An estimate of more than 100,000 people were butchered by the regime of Robert Mugabe just for being Ndebele, just for being perceived as supporters of ZAPU. This ethnic cleansing was meant to crush the very soul of the Matebele people so that they never rise up again. The South African government has never publicly condemned the genocide. The South African government has never attempted to take this genocide case to the international community or to the ICC, as it has done with Israel. One wonders why. Well, we applaud the president of the EFF, Comrade Julius Malema, for talking about this genocide for the very first time. He is a senior political figure in South Africa, or the very first senior political figure who has spoken about this publicly. We hope from now going forward, many people would educate themselves about what happened to the Ndebele people. Why were they killed? Why are they being sidelined in Zimbabwe right now? Why? Not that it is the South African people's responsibility. No. Wherever evil raises its head, people who love freedom and justice have to come forward and defend the defenseless, particularly if they've done nothing wrong. The people of Matabeleland do not deserve the treatment that they are getting from Zimbabwe. As I said, the genocide is still ongoing. It has morphed into cultural, psychological, educational, all those spheres of life. The people of Matabeleland are being squeezed. But why?